Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. So if you were watching, you watched Bitcoin hit a new low of 57,936 overnight. So, interesting. I think it's a pullback because people want to make money. And there's Stitch kind of shaking things up over there. Um, let's see what else is going on. Last week we heard that the SEC was kicking the can down the road for Hashdex and their combined application from the CBOE for the Bitcoin ETF options, and I think it's a merged BTC and Ethereum type deal going on there. What the heck is this screen that's popping up? That's odd. So something that caught my attention is, and it's annoying, it's Nigeria. It's finally considering Bitcoin regulation. And I find it to be really funny. And the reason why I find it to be funny is because the idea that now under Bitcoin regulation, I've been telling people for a long time, Bitcoin and altcoins are not going anywhere. They're here to stay. So it's not a matter of consider. It's a matter that you had better. And you had better if you want to remain relevant in the coming financial industry. The financial industry is going through a metamorphosis, and a lot of countries have not kept up. They've not paid attention. They're still stuck on even trying to get rid of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, that's not going to work. You tried it, it didn't work, and it got stronger, became more resilient. Instead of working against the coming tide, how about you work with it? And maybe you won't get crushed up against the rocks. Just a thought from a non-surfer who knows surfer people. Something else that caught my attention. So Coinbase Research reports that crypto market is susceptible to macroeconomic pressures. When I read that, I sat there and I was kind of like, yeah, makes sense. But did you know for a long time it wasn't? It was a place to go. But when you see macroeconomic pressures, they're talking about things like the Nikkei crashing. You're talking about economies, state level economies, because Nikkei, well, that's Japan. Taiwan didn't do so well either. So it's a lot. It's a lot to actually deal with. So for me, I'm looking at that and I'm just saying to myself, ooh, as much as I'm laughing at that report and what the headline reads, when you actually dig into that report, they're dead on. Coinbase is dead on with that. Something else that Coinbase is doing is that they're urging the CFTC to withdraw its proposal on market speculation contracts. And the reason why is because, well, the concerns are definition and implications of the proposal, meaning what could the proposal mean if they say, well, you can't have speculation within, markets like that, like the speculation space can't be a space. Again, I don't know that you can tell a regulator to go away, but I think you can tell a regulator, hey, we think you need a little bit more research in this. We think you need to take a deeper dive. And I think that's the ultimate message that Coinbase is sending to the CFTC. I don't think the CFTC is wrong for looking into it, but I do have an issue with these government agencies looking into spaces with no rhyme or reason. You know what I mean? Like, not actually, there could be a reason, but there's no specific or specificity to it in terms of there's a prioritization, there's, a process that we're going through. It just seems we're waking up today and, okay, we're going to go that way. At some point, there needs to be a more pragmatic approach toward crypto regulation. It's not even about positive or negative. It's about being pragmatic and being practical. Some of these things that are being proposed are just ridiculous. So really, that's what I'm looking for, is our governments around the world to take a step back, get an understanding, stop being scared, and understand that, this is kind of the way the world is going. I made a joke over the weekend. It wasn't really a joke, but it was kind of like, have you ever watched Star Wars and Star Trek? They talk about credits. They don't talk about this fiat, that fiat. They talk about credits. That ought to tell you something. The world is indeed getting smaller when it comes to the financial industry. You cannot have something happen in one country and have it not affect others. That said, it comes a point where you really have to sit back and understand what the new financial industry is going to look like and how we should regulate that new financial industry. For instance, you know, we're worried about settlements. Like everybody's like, oh my God, settlements is going to be a great place for crypto. Yes, it is. But take a step back and let's talk about settlements from a technology perspective. It's not just about speed and low cost. It's that the systems that are in place right now are antiquated, old, and in some cases, in terms of scalability, resilience, all that other stuff. So I'm looking at, well, the integration of the technology, the acceptance of the technology, and having banks and other financial institutions say, yeah, this could be better. Something that a lot of people don't talk about is how the insurance industry is so far behind when it comes to technology. It's often an industry joke that the insurance industry is 20 years behind the financial industry. So if our financial industry is not perfect, well, see what I mean? There are insurance companies out there getting bought or being sold off only because they can't change their internal systems. So they want to pawn off the problem to somebody else. Something to think about. There's something to think about. There are technologies out there that can be implemented that could really help the situation. I think that's what needs to happen. I'm looking at reinsurance and I'm thinking blockchain would be a huge solution in the reinsurance industry. As you have cascading insurance partners that are going on, I think that would be huge. Contracts that get fulfilled automatically. That would be a big deal. Just saying, something for us to pay attention to, something for us to look at. Another point in the news, well, Ethereum gas prices dropped. And that's bringing fear up because it's kind of like, well, gas fees are the lowest that they have been in years. And that's not so great considering how much traffic is going on and, you know, the level of centralization that could be happening. So people are definitely looking at that. The IRS is actually looking to simplify its crypto tax reporting form. You know what they removed? Wallet addresses. They're no longer asking for wallet addresses. Wow. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. That's a very, very big deal. The IRS not asking for wallet addresses is huge because that would mean, the implication would mean that centralized exchanges would not have to report those specific wallet addresses and their actions. So I'm going to be looking into that. It's Form 1099 D as in David A, or digital assets. So that's something to pay attention to. And they are looking for public feedback. Something else that happened. The SEC has subpoenaed 3 venture capital firms, crypto-friendly venture capital firms. Because what they're saying is, or allegedly, these firms were selling unregistered securities because they were acting as underwriters. So it's a practice thing. That's interesting. I'd like to see how that plays out. I'd really like to know who the venture capital firms are. So I'll be waiting for that, looking to see how that news hits. Another piece of news that I wanted you to pay attention to for those people that invest in real estate, like me, there are large corporations, and I said this a while ago. 60 Minutes had, a piece on real estate in Atlanta where you've got basically 11 companies that own 30,000 homes between them. Well, that's going on across the United States. Whole neighborhoods being bought up by opaque LLCs, Home Ventures, Home Inc., buying up houses, constantly bombarding people that are living in their homes, minding their business, sending them junk mail. We'll buy your home for cash. Ever drive around and see those signs, billboards, paper handwritten signs, we'll buy your home for cash? That's what that is. Venture capital firms and private equity firms are buying up homes across the United States at a breakneck speed. And it has to make you wonder, so why? The reason why is because they're driving up home prices. And if you can't afford to buy a home, then you'll rent one. How long will you rent one? For as long as you can afford it. That's the business model. If you don't own a home now, it could be getting more difficult. Interest rates have dropped from the mid eights down to the mid sixes, but the prices are still high. The prices are still high. That bar to actually get a house is still high. But I wish everybody luck in acquiring their own piece of land, because I think that's a very big deal. I'm starting to think that maybe it's not about buying a house, but buying land. So my son and I are going to discuss that. But I thought I'd bring you that article because it's rearing its ugly head again as you see whole neighborhoods being bought up by these companies, by these venture capital and private equity firms. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should get into the numbers. That's right. So let me ditch my notes. Let's go take a look at the GMB crypto tracker top 25 losers. Let's see. It automatically refreshes every 10 minutes, so I'm not going to bother to refresh. It's fine. Let's see who. We're starting off in the 16s, goes all the way down to 7. So this whole list is not good. As you go down the list, let's see who's on here that we're actually paying attention to. Anchor, not really, but it's down 8%. Aerodrome, a name that I know, it's down 7%. ASI, or Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, is down. What is this? 7%. That's actually big. A Cash Network is down 7%. Let's see. Ando Finance is down 7%. Wow. Let's see who else is here. Jupiter's down 7%. Basically, when we look at the charts, you're going to see that everybody was down. Like I said, Bitcoin was down to 57,936. That's, to me, that's just a lot of profit taking. But it's also a sign that we're not necessarily expecting good numbers this week. You've got Home Depot tomorrow and you have Walmart on Thursday. I'm not expecting great numbers. I'm really not. The retail sector has not done well. Arweave down 7%. Wow, I didn't realize that. Let's take a look at the Grow My Bag Crypto Tracker top 25 winners. Not a lot. You see how quickly it goes down to 4%. That's it. Curve Dow is up 10%. Sui is up 9%. I have no idea what the heck this is. Elf up 6%. No idea what that is. Not even interested. But if I'm looking at if I'm looking at Curve, it has a GMBX factor of 53, 53, almost 53.5x. Interesting. Am I jumping in? Probably not, but very interesting. Sui's got the 1.21x. That's it. You don't really have a lot going on. Excuse me. See how quickly you get down to zero? Because the market is not in a good space right now. Straight up. So if you're looking at the big board, you can see where we're actually hurting. 58,811 for Bitcoin. I'm looking across the board and I'm just thinking buying season. I really do. All I see is an opportunity to buy. I'm also looking at some coins showing some resilience. Like look at SHIB at 14, showing resilience. Doge at SHIB took a almost 3.5% hit, and it's still over 14. Doge still over 10 cents, down 4.75. So when I look at this, I'm trying to say to myself, this is for me good opportunity to pick out coins that I want to pick out and start cherry picking and purchasing those coins. No, I'm not adding to Solo at the moment. Cardano, I might. I want to see how much further this actually drops, because we also have big economic news coming this week. So let's take a look at that. So Tuesday we have core PPI, producer price index. Wednesday we have the consumer price index. Thursday we have the normal jobless claims, retail sales data, capacity utilization. We got business inventories. On Friday, we have housing starts. So that's a lot of economic data. A lot. People are still out there whining that, we should have had, rate cuts, in August. Wah. Why? I don't think the economy is showing that you needed emergency rate cuts in the United States. I don't think it shows that. I think people are talking it up because that's what they want. They want certain things to happen. So we'll just wait for it to all happen. I'm weighting my DCA strategy a lot toward dry powder right now. A lot toward dry powder because I think things could go down. And when they are, I want to be ready. I want to be extremely ready. So I'm holding a lot. I've diminished my DCA strategy a little bit in terms of direct investment, but that money that I'm putting for direct investment is still going into digital assets, but it's going into dry powder. I want to be able to act quickly when I see a flash crash or something like that, because I think that the economy could take a hit because the globe is not doing well. If the globe is not doing well and the United States is doing well, how long is it that the United States is not going to do well? So that's a bet that I'm making. I'm hedging my bets right now. Fear and Greed Index is at 25. DeFi Llama, you can see that we only have $87.5 billion in total value locked. We're still down a lot. You know I like to be above 100. If you're looking at the big board, you can see we're still playing around in my, within my blue band, which is from 57,686 to 63,719, right? And these are the things that I'm paying attention to right now. How long are we going to keep moving within this space? That's a very big deal. So I'm looking to pay attention to that. Like I said, I'm looking for a little bit of consolidation within a given area before we make a big move. And I think that big move is going to wind up going up. I think it's going to be a huge move up once the Fed rate hits in September. So for me, I'm just biding my time. Just biding my time. So there you have it. Here it is on the big board again. Let's go back over to the numbers. Let's go over to, this is not what I want to see. Let's see, there it is. Alrighty. So you can see the numbers that, just looking at across the lines right now, the best one is over the past few days has got to be XRP. Got to be XRP. However, just remember, for the year to date, it still bites. It's still at 894. That's a problem. But look what I said about resilience. You're seeing resilience in Toncoin. You're seeing resilience in certain coins that they're not necessarily taking the same hit that Bitcoin is taking. So we'll see what happens. We really will see what happens. Just so you know, right now we are playing around with the GMBB 20. That's our own crypto index, representing certain areas of crypto like DPINs, DeFi, TradeFi, GameFi, layer ones, layer twos. We're playing around with those numbers right now and trying to confirm if we want to rock and roll with these particular coins. And there are some thoughts behind the coins that we've chosen. So playing around with that should be coming soon. Anyway, tune in tonight, 8 p.m. YouTube. You'll see the show. You'll hear the show. And more importantly, you'll be able to participate in that live event. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe, and definitely try to become a member. Why? Because members have benefits. Members have serious benefits. Anyway, hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.